Good evening. Welcome to the regular board meeting of the Board of School Directors of the School District of Springfield Township. And let's all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here tonight. Reading of the mission statement. Mr. Lapidus, you won the award.
The mission of the School District of Springfield Township is to educate and develop all students as learners and citizens who are high-achieving, resilient, and responsible in a changing global community.
Roll call, Mr. King.
Mr. Bedard. Here. Mr. Chapman. Here. Ms. Jordan. Here. Mr. Lapidus. Here. Ms. Nelson. Mr. Rayer. Ms. Sarsfield. Ms. Slapinski. Here. Dr. Taratusky.
Here. Announcements. The board at its discretion may videotape all or any portion of public board meetings subject to the limitations set forth in Policy 006.2, Broadcasting of Meetings. Board meetings will be broadcast on Friday afternoon following the board meeting. And we're going to make a shift in our agenda this evening so that we have all of our distinguished students here today and their parents and our faculty, and we'd like to present some awards. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Hacker.
Thank you, Dr. Taratusky.
I'm sorry, can I just make one quick thing? Yes. Do we want to see if there's any public comments before?
We're going to do that after.
Oh, we're going to do that after too? Okay,
Yeah, we're
great,
going to do
thanks.
the awards first.
Just make sure.
Thank you. Yes, the reason we wanted to do the awards first is because we're just guessing that many of you have other things you would like to do this evening. We know the students probably have homework that they're very eager to get back to, and we don't want to hold you up at all. So we thank you for coming because our assumption is you are not here because you are interested in all of the items on the board agenda this evening, that you are here for another wonderful reason. This is always one of our favorite meetings every single year when we get to, first of all, brag a little bit because our district has once again, I believe for the 6th year in a row, been named one of the best districts nationally for music education by the National Association of Music Merchants. So we're extraordinarily excited about that again. And secondly, because we want to recognize many of our stellar music students for their accomplishments. So again, this is really a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to do that. So do we have one of our NAMM representatives here yet? Aha, okay.
Good evening, Dr. Hacker, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen, students, and staff. My name is Tom Kelly. I'm the education representative for Zeswitz Music, who's had the pleasure of working with the music department here for nearly 3 decades. I started when I was 12, by the way, as we all did. But I also come as a representative of the NAMM Association, the National Association of Music Merchants. Now, the NAMM Foundation, an offshoot, now in its 20th year, gave an opportunity for school districts to apply for this particular accolade. A little bit of history, the application process is rather lengthy. It isn't just apply and you get the award. Just to give you some scope, it was a 32-page application this year. It really went into great detail about the performance opportunities for students, the teaching of the students within each of the buildings. And again, this is K through 12. It includes the general music side as well. And it really highlights the enrichment of instrumental and general music here in the school district of Springfield Township. Just to give you a little more scope and sequence, there are 13,588 school districts in the country. 623 this year were awarded this particular accolade. That puts you in the 95th percentile of those schools in the United States of America. It's pretty cool. Again, it's a true testament to the administration here in Springfield Township, the teachers that are undying. I see it now too at this time of the year, concerts, performances, going to Dorney Park, Hershey Park, all of the outside things. Each individual here in the school district really does, for the parents here and the students, have your best interest at heart. And it's my pleasure for the 6th year in a row to present to the school district of Springfield Township this particular placard. And again, I hope that the promotional package is plastered all over the walls here in each building, actually. And it says, the NAMM Foundation salutes the school district of Springfield Township for outstanding support of music education, enriching the lives and advancing student achievement, because we all know that music does make you smarter. So, Dr. Hacker and the staff, let's take a photo. Come on up, please. Join us. Congratulations.
So, as our music staff is making their way over, I just want to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank Tom, who comes here every single year to personally present this award. We're indeed grateful, very appreciative. I can assure you that I did not write that 32-page application. These are the folks that are responsible, and I just want to commend each one of them, not only for their own individual talents and what they contribute to our music programs, but of course for their incredible work and commitment with all of your students and partnering with all of you, our families. One of the reasons why the arts are so well thought of in our community is because we have so much parental and family support. You are the folks who are driving your kids to the rehearsals and the practices. You're waiting long hours, many evenings before those final performances for them to get home at night. You're on their case about practicing their musical instruments and singing their songs as well as doing their homework. So these guys couldn't do it without all of you, and of course, our wonderful students, many of whom we're recognizing this evening. I will tell you, and I'll just mention this one concert. Last week for our Festival of the Arts, we had our art show here, our very talented artists that we have, and we also had our high school spring concert. And the last number, and Mr. Puntel is unfortunately not here, I had tears in my eyes as I listened to them do a medley of Les Mis songs. I felt like I was on Broadway. And same thing I was just telling Chuck Gottesman with the jazz band. Of course, I recorded that and put a little bit of a video on Twitter. I don't know if you happened to see it, but I immediately played it for my husband when I got home, and I said, you got to get a load of this. I said, this is not high school. These kids sound so professional. They sound like they're beyond college. So my thanks to all of you for your incredible hard work. We're going to hear from them in a minute as they read out the names of our students as they receive their certificates. And again, Tom, thank you so much on behalf of all of us.
To work with. Congratulations. Wow. Bravo. Congratulations. You're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. Well done.
So at this time, I would like to call upon Mr. LaRocco, one of our assistant principals at the high school, who is going to present an award to a young lady who is our Eastern Center for the Arts and Technology Student of the Month, Grace Alderman. Go ahead, dear.
Thank you, Dr. Hacker. Grace Alderman is a senior here at Springfield Township High School, and then she also attends the commercial arts program at Eastern. Out of the 500 plus students at Eastern, she was selected as the May 2019 Student of the Month, and it's my pleasure to present this certificate to Grace.
So every month, Eastern puts out what they call their board brief, and I just want to read a few excerpts from it about Grace's accomplishment. The Student of the Month Award is sponsored by Eastern's faculty, their joint operating committee, and the Willow Grove Rotary Club to highlight student excellence, success, and service. Only 10 students each year are selected for this honor. Grace visited Eastern twice through Springfield Township School District during 8th grade and 10th grade tours. By the time she entered high school, she knew a few students who were already enrolled. Always interested in art, she found she could turn it into a lucrative career in graphic design. Right, Mrs. Lipinski? Grace is extremely active in Skills USA, Eastern's student leadership organization, and is currently the Skills USA school-wide vice president. Over her 2 years at Eastern, she's proven to be a successful participant in many of those competitions. This past April, she received second place at the Skills USA state competition for advertising design. At Eastern, she volunteers her time to assist with recruitment events such as Open House and as an assistant teacher for the Computer Art and Digital Photography Summer Fun Camp for middle school students. At Springfield, she's an honor roll student, serves as layout editor for the yearbook, and is captain on the varsity cheerleading team. Nicole Moray, Eastern's commercial art instructor, says, Grace works hard and has an upbeat and positive attitude. Grace takes on each project with enthusiasm. Her drive to succeed will take her far. And after graduation, she's going to be attending Delaware College of Art and Design for the first 2 years of college, and then matriculate to Pratt to complete her bachelor's degree in graphic design. A well-deserved award, Grace. We're proud you represent us. Either way, it's wonderful. You're welcome. Thanks, Grace. See you at graduation. Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller. Okay, I believe you have some awards to present as well.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Zach Fuller. I'm the proud principal of Springfield Township Middle School, and I'm here to present our National History Day Regional Competition Awards. This was our first year in the National History Day competition at Springfield Township Middle School. It's a national program that goes through regional, state, and then finally national competition run out of the University of Maryland. And our students did very well in regional competition this year. Students choose and research and refine a topic over a long period of time. They work together in groups or by themselves as individuals to find a way to express that topic, and then they go to competition with that. So one young man who we're really proud to recognize here tonight chose to work independently and actually won first place in our regional competition for his academic paper, his academic research paper. And so this one goes to Thomas Hasty for, I want to read this correctly, America and Japan, the Triumphs and Tragedies of the Bombing of Hiroshima, an academic paper. And we also took an award for a group project, a 4-person group, and this was for a display project. I saw pictures of it. It was quite a display. And so we have 4 young ladies who are being recognized here tonight, and I want to say them in order. We have Talar Hovsepian. So come on up. hang out here for a second. We have Teresa Talbot. We have Ayla Di Battista. And we have Jordan Kempner, who couldn't be with us tonight. Oh, you are here with us tonight. Didn't you send an email? Oh, I thought we got an email saying you weren't coming. Oh, that's great. Okay, so congratulations to these 3 young ladies and the 4th, who wrote A Look Behind the Gates of Los Alamos, the Atomic City, which was a display that they put on display at National History Day. So if you want to take your certificates, we can get a picture here. Jordan? Yeah. Ayla? Talar. There we go. Okay. Now hold your certificate. All right, congratulations, girls. I can give that to her.
ELA?
Those are all the awards I have. Yeah. It was through our gift.
Got it. Okay, at this time, we're going to start with the music awards. So I'm going to call on our elementary band instructor to come up and give the elementary awards. Mr. Benton, are you doing that? Okay. Their certificates. Okay.
These students participated in Elementary Band Fest, PMEA, which is Pennsylvania Music Educators Association. They participated in a one-day event where they got to meet a bunch of other students from all over the area, elementary school, 5th and 6th graders. Mr. Barlow as well sent a few students to this festival. So when I read your name, please come forward and receive your certificate. Sienna Bedard.
Here's your certificate. Shake your hand. Stay right there.
William Toombs. Stella Protowski.
Nice job.
Isaac Darga.
I didn't see you over there.
Gretchen Lynn.
Nice work.
Roman Corcoran.
Of course.
And my 6th graders who attended that same festival, Sarah Sharp. Congratulations, Sarah.
I have one more student, Lily Martin. Her fellow oboe made sure that she got up here too.
Kaz Kaguchi. Helen Lutz. Charles Morris. Michaela Kelly. Shannon Silvius, I believe, has a sporting event this evening. Okay. And her twin is here to represent them both. Paul Silvius. Good job, Paul. I didn't see Anderson Swanger, but he played trumpet for us as well. Anderson? And that is Elementary Band Fest. I will pass this on to Mrs. Benton, I believe. Ah, pictures.
Great job, guys. They also had a terrific concert last week. And for middle school, Mrs. Benton for the Song Fest. And Chuck, are you going to do band? Sure. Okay. I'll present these for you. Okay.
Hang on to these. Okay. All right, good evening. The following students participated this year in the PMEA Junior High Song Fest, which took place at Keith Valley Middle School, and this is for grades 7, 8, and 9. So please, if you wouldn't mind holding your applause until all of the students have come up to receive their awards, that would be much appreciated. First, we have Deweese Smith. Deweese, are you here? Okay. Anthony Lee. Next, we have Lillian Coonrad. Lillian is not here. Samantha Klein is also unable to be here this evening. Francis Holcomb, come on down. You need help? All right, here. Gabrielle Green. You look so nice. Mary Faith DiCarlo. She's at the softball game. Thank you. Caden Brunner, I know you're here. Okay. Here, you want to hand me the ones that are not here? Okay. Willa Burns. No Willa? All right. Guess. Yeah. The rest are the 9th graders. You saw Lily? Oh, Willa. Okay. Yeah, I'll take those in a minute. And I'll also present the 9th graders for Junior High Song Fest since Mr. Puntel is unable to be here this evening. Luke Cooper. Katie Eckert. Alexander Edmonds. Striking out tonight. Alexander Fritsch. Yes, they were all at the concert, yes. That's the important thing. Eric Halsey. Crickets. Maybe. And Elizabeth Maxwell. Going once, going twice, no. All right, Junior High Song Fest, thank you.
She might not be here.
I don't see Sky. Yes. Is Sky Buckner here? Sky Buckner? No? Okay.
So next is our middle school MontKoban students. The MontKoban is sort of a consortium of 7 area school districts, and our band directors and students get together and work collaboratively to put collaboratively, that's a good word, to put on a great concert back in February. So for middle school MontKoban, again, I'll call up all of the participants to come up for a picture, and we'll make sure you get your certificates. Frankie Wellman. And Wilcox Tolo. Thanks, Frank. And Tess Talbot. And Piper Silberman. And I think Suzanne is not here. Suzanne Seltzer. And Taylor Schultz. And Julia Pontillo. And Ben Painter. And Uma Padmanabhan. No Uma tonight? I worked so hard to learn how to say that correctly. Kaylee Noonan. Thank you. And Ethan Mazurek. Thank you, Ethan. Anthony Lee. And Zane Kolodner. Thank you, Anthony. Representing his STMS music shirt with pride, Zane. Thank you. Isabel Kling. And Jana Ivanek. And Lucas Hinke. Franny Holcomb, my photographer. Tommy Hasty. And I think Alana Decker is also at an event tonight. Alana. And Lauren Bundy. And Caden Brunner. And I believe also Ryan Agnew is at another event. Ryan Agnew. And that should be all of our middle school MontKoban participants. Congratulations to all. Come on in nice and tight so we can get a picture. Come on around. Come in front of me. Okay, guys, thank you all very, very much, and congratulations. I'll take care of it. Yep, sure. Thank you. Sure, let's do chorus first. These awards are for the students who actually participated in PMEA District Chorus this year. The PMEA hosts statewide auditions in each of the 12 districts of the state of Pennsylvania. And our students this year performed very, very well. We sent 4 of our outstanding choral students to the District Chorus Festival. So I'd like to invite up, representing our District Chorus, Jane Kutcher. And Jane tells me she's the only one that's here, but...
Election day.
Election day, right. Trey Dubose, let's give Trey a hand also. Will you take these for him? And also Michaela Mitchell and Ani Peterson. So I think we also had Trey move on to regionals, right? So we might have one there for region. There's Trey. So congratulations to Trey. It's funny that before Mrs. Benton said that we were striking out, because so many of our students are also involved in sports, with Springfield being the small district that it is, we have a ton of crossover with students who are involved in sports and in music, which is one of the great things about this community, and in my opinion, one of the reasons why we've been recognized for the past 6 years nationally. So a lot of our students who are here are definitely not blowing us off. No, they're working very hard out on the field and also in many other pursuits in the community. So congratulations to Trey with Region Chorus. Thank you, Trey. So we also had students audition on the instrumental level for PMEA, and I'd like to bring up Rebecca Lee, who did a really wonderful job. She went to 3 great festivals this year: District Chorus, Region Chorus, and all. Let me try that one more time, Rebecca. She's a violinist. So Rebecca went to District Orchestra, better, Region Orchestra, and Pennsylvania All-State Orchestra. So Rebecca doing a great job. 1, 2, 3. And one more district, PMEA district representative to bring up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Rebecca won it was one of the top awards at the Arts Festival just last week. So again, multi-talented student in Rebecca. Ben Durham also performed very well at his district audition and went to the district band festival on clarinet. Thank you, Ben. So these are our PMEA instrumental participants and vocal participant representing. Thank you and congratulations to our PMEA students.
MontKoban.
Yeah, that's it. And finally, this is a large group of students who actually participated in our high school MontKoban Festival. Again, this is a consortium of various schools and band directors working together to put together a great gala concert back in February. So to all of our high school MontKoban participants, I'll call you up to receive your certificates, and we'll take a photo. Caitlin Beecham. And Kyler Brunner. And Ryan Chabinsky, I believe, is at a playoff lacrosse game tonight. Ryan, thank you. Oh, that's where Trey is, too, playoff lacrosse. Alyssa Crumley. And Jeff Kutcher. And Ben Durham. Third ones I called. Ben played clarinet at PMEA, and he played the tenor saxophone at MontKoban. Julie Jin. Thank you, Julie. And Bella John. Kate Kaufman. Thanks, Kate. Lucy Namira. And Nick Namira. You get 2, yes, thank you. Julia Pratt. And Devin Reed. Yes, indeed. Eric Stout. Thank you, Eric. And Caesar Stringfield. Caesar, there he is. Ben Talley. Thank you, Ben. And John Yee. Is John here tonight? That's, I believe, all of our MontKoban participants. Now, did we miss anybody? Yay! I think we got it right. So, MontKoban guys, let's get in 2 rows and get a nice picture happening.
Chuck. So very quickly, before everybody slips out, I just wanted to, first of all, thank all of our music staff, Rob Benton, Amy Benton, Tyler Lawson, Matt Barlow, Chuck Gottesman, and Andrew Puntel, again, for the amazing job that they do with all of our students every single year. We look forward to hearing their concerts and to watching our students perform. I want to thank Tom Kelly for again coming back to present us each year with our NAMM award. Tom, we will look forward to seeing you again next year to make it lucky 7. So hopefully you will be here for that. And again, all of our thanks to all of you, our parents, for supporting the arts. One thing that's always remarkable to me, Chuck mentioned that it's so remarkable that our students are involved in so many activities. But I also just want to highlight the musicianship and the versatility of the students in our program. Many of the students, there's significant crossover. So many of our band students are also tremendous singers. And they star in our musical productions and our drama productions. And many of our musicians play many more instruments than what you may see them playing on the stage. So I'm always amazed when I watch them switch between different numbers and watch them picking up a different instrument. So it's really incredible the talent that is nurtured in these students. And what's really a joy is to watch as they move from the elementary program in September and October when they're just getting started, and by the end of the year when they're playing real songs. And then they move up to the junior high and they begin to tackle some really challenging pieces. And of course, as I said before, by the time they get to high school, and they're sounding so incredibly professional. So thank you everyone who filled up the room to celebrate our musicians this evening. We appreciate it. And one final note. If you are interested, I invite you to stay for a brief summary that I'll be giving shortly as we move into the regular board meeting session about a discussion that we had with members of the community, approximately 70 people in attendance last Monday evening, to talk and to gather input from them and their feedback about some ideas for the disposition of the Enfield School property. We're looking at what we need to do with that property since we'll be moving to a brand new elementary school and we no longer need that entire structure. I do have copies of the presentation. They're limited. I'm going to leave them on the table, so don't fight each other trying to get a copy because they're also on the front page of our website. So all you have to do is go to the website, you can click and get the PowerPoint, and you can click and get the frequently asked questions, many of which were asked the other evening last week. Secondly, for those of you who are curious, you may know that we did a little bit of a survey to see what people thought about a name for our new elementary school, and I'm going to be sharing those results. It should only take me less than 5 minutes. If you're interested in staying, feel free. If not, we will e-blast it out so everybody will be able to hear that information. So thank you, everyone, again.
If I may, real quick before everybody runs, we'd like to take a picture of all the music students that are here tonight outside. Just join us before you go on your way. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Set up.
Right.
Early Learning Center.
God forbid. Yikes.
Maybe we should propose that.
It's not on. Memorial.
Memorial implies dead.
Yeah, well, we're wishful thinking. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Great. Okay, we're going to continue with any public comments on agenda items. Any public comments on agenda items? Thank you very much. Okay, not yet. All right, approval of the minutes, April 2nd, 2019, interim meeting, board minutes N, and April 23rd, 2019, regular meeting, board minutes O. Is there a motion? And a second. Any comments or questions? Okay, roll call. Mr. King? Sorry.
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski. Dr. Teratesi.
Aye. Approval of the treasurer's report, treasurer's report H. Is there a motion? And a second? Either one of those. Any comments or questions? Okay, Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Ms. Jordan. Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski. Dr. Teratesi.
Aye. And now we'll invite the student council representative up for a report this evening. You can have a seat right at the table there.
Hi, my name is Emily Smith, and I'm a member of Student Council. As May draws to an end, we are in full planning mode for the last big event. This Friday is our fundraiser for the MIP Foundation. Student Council has organized a fantastic day of events, fun for all. We will have a dunk tank, an inflatable obstacle course, minute-to-win-it games, a movie showing, karaoke sports events, live music, a card-making station for the MIP kit recipients, and much more. This year's event allows us to come together as a school and honor our fellow Spartan, Collins Laney. If you are free to stop by, please do. Bring your luck and dunk Dr. Ritt. The festivities begin at 11:15, and we are looking forward to a relaxing and entertaining day. Finally, thank you for your devotion to this community. We appreciate your support, and thank you for all you do for us. Have a fantastic summer.
Thanks so much. All right, reports of committees. Finance report, or Finance Committee, Walter Lapidus?
I have an audience of 7.
Yes, they all stayed for you.
And
Angela.
so we had an extensive meeting, it was a couple of weeks ago. We discussed primarily the,
No, it's very loud. It's okay.
we discussed the budget for the 2019-2020 year. We talked about what impacts the budget and what additional costs we may be facing during that school year. Mr. King, who is amazing at this, was able to keep our tax increase to 1.96%, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, but it's not just Mr. King.
No, Mr. King,
It's
with
the
a whole lot of
entire-
other
it's the board,
people.
the entire administrative team, and even all the staff. It's a
The
very
selfless
much a
Mr. King, I should have said.
collaborative
But I think
effort.
this is year number 6 or 7 of primarily below index tax increases. And this is given that, 7, thank you. Given that we are building a brand-new K through 2 center and expanding the high school. So I think it's remarkable what the administration has done. We also discussed a number of tax assessment appeals, got an update on some of the capital projects and requests for an RFP. And that concluded the meeting. Our next meeting is to be determined. And I'm sorry. There was an executive session that began at 7:05 to discuss negotiations and an access funding appeal. Thank you. Are there any questions?
I would just like to add one comment, and that is that Mr. King is absolutely correct. It really is a collaborative effort. When we went back to the administrative team after the preliminary budget period in January and told them about the necessity of not only having to limit the number of hires, but also to cut their budgets. We always have gotten, and this time as well, got an extraordinary amount of cooperation from them. But in addition to that, Mr. King is being extraordinarily modest. Between himself and Emily Kerr, our HR director, who's primarily responsible for looking over the salaries and making sure that those people are on the right step and the right place on the salary guide. And she always keeps a keen eye as well on the benefits. She's a member of our benefits consortium benefits committee. She's vice president of that. So she also spends an extraordinary amount of time. This is, as you can well imagine, in an almost $60 million budget. It requires a huge amount of oversight and attention to detail, which both of them give an extraordinary amount of time and effort to. So I just want to commend them both because Mr. King, as I said, was being far more modest than he needs to be in terms of his scrutiny of every single line item on that budget. So thank you to both of you as well.
Property Committee, Ms. Lipinski.
Thank you. The Property Committee met on Friday, April 26th, and we got an overview of the high school renovation and the ELC project updates. Both projects are still on schedule. The Facilities Department is really busy coordinating the end-of-year events at the high school, taking into consideration the traffic and the holdup with the construction. We also got some information from the Schrader Group Architects. They presented a presentation on some very preliminary options for the current Enfield site. Once that building comes down, we do have to decide what we are going to use that property for. One of the considerations is that we do need some softball fields that will be used for the middle school. And one of the big variables that we're considering is whether to keep the current gym and library portion of the building and how that would work with configuring the fields around it. At that meeting, we also decided that we wanted to have a community meeting to be able to present our design options and to get feedback from community members as to what they think about our ideas and maybe get some information about what they'd like to see and have them have an opportunity to answer questions. So we did go ahead and we had that meeting, which I was able to attend on May 13th. We were able to have Schrader Group present the same high-level ideas that we saw in the Property Committee meeting. I feel like the meeting was very well attended. There was a wide range of community members who came out to see that presentation. They asked lots of questions, and they also did share some good ideas. I know Dr. Hacker is going to talk a lot more about this, but essentially they had ideas like, can we have a walking path? Can we have a community garden? You know, can we add a playground since they'll be losing the Enfield playground? Maybe a gazebo like at Cisco Park. My takeaway from the meeting is that we're tasked with thinking about, in addition to having fields that would satisfy our needs as a district, how can we look at this site and think about it as a community site as well, and consider some features we could maybe add to it. So that was my takeaway from the meeting.
Thank you. We did have an Academic Affairs Committee report on the agenda, but we're going to table that until June, until the June meeting. Administrative reports, Dr. Hacker.
So I'll follow up shortly on what Mrs. Lipinski reported, but I do just want to mention one more thing. Dr. Jill Vitsa, who was here at the March 19th meeting, if you recall, we presented the Philadelphia Young Playwrights Adele Magner Award to a student at the middle school by the name of Riley Atkinson. She's in 9th grade now. She was in the middle school when she did the work that garnered this award for her. But I thought it also worthwhile to mention and to let the board know that not only did Riley get an award that came with a monetary prize, but so did Dr. Vitsa, which came as a great surprise to her when she opened her mail one day and found a $500 check. So I just wanted to alert the board and let you know that she does have permission to accept that check for her work. It was an honorarium in recognition of her outstanding contributions in making this possible. So we're very proud of Dr. Vitsa and the work that she does for us in English Language Arts and the gifted program at the middle school. So just to follow up on what Mrs. Slapinski reported, thank you for a very accurate representation of what the meeting was about. As I pointed out a few moments ago, and it looks like just about everything is gone, we did have copies of that PowerPoint presentation that was presented by Schrader Group Architects. To get to that PowerPoint presentation, we had solicited input from the board members on the property committee as well as our entire administrative team in terms of what they thought good uses for that site would be. So I do want to point out that while the PowerPoint really only captures options that include athletic fields on that site, one option, actually two of the options, would mean tearing down the entire Enfield property and then somehow reconfiguring the space to include 2 softball fields and a multi-purpose field. A third option that is shown in the PowerPoint shows a portion of the building remaining. That would be the more newly constructed portion that includes the current Enfield gym and on top of it, the current Enfield library space. So all 3 of these options were considered at the May 13th meeting, along with many other options that Gretchen mentioned as well, including having walking paths, playgrounds, collaborating with the township, and so forth. So what we did was I basically took all of the commentary, and I want to thank Dr. Johnston and the audience for being our note taker that evening. She very faithfully represented all the feedback and the input that we got from community members, and we collapsed that into a summary of what the meeting was about, and then approximately 15 frequently asked questions that came up that evening, including things such as, what would the impact be on my taxes? What about collaborating with the township so that the township and the district can work together? So there were a number of excellent questions that came up at the meeting, along with a number of excellent ideas. We are capturing all of that feedback as well as any of the emails that I'm getting from community residents. So all of that will be shared with the board as we continue with these conversations about what to do with the site. So I just want to clarify one thing, that regardless of what we do to that site, there should be a cost moving forward. Even if we tear down the whole building, the site would have to be maintained in order for those sports fields to be viable for either school district use or community use. If we maintain a portion of the building, we have increased costs as well moving forward: custodial services, security services, heating and air conditioning, utilities, water service, and so forth. So all of these options, including any of the ideas that have come up from the community, a bird sanctuary, a playground for community use, walking paths on the site, all of those have costs as well. And because this is school district-owned property, essentially it's the responsibility of the school district to maintain any of those options. And while there had been some questions about the township sharing in those costs, I do want to point out that whether we foot the entire bill or the township splits it, both options add to budgets. So whether township taxes will go up, or township and district taxes will go up, or just district taxes will go up because of those costs, I just want to alert people to none of those options are free. Once you have a property, regardless of what you're doing, you must maintain that property. So I just wanted to clarify that for everyone. So we thank all the individuals who not only came out to that meeting, but who so far may have looked at our website where this information is posted. It's on the main page of the website. It's the first presentation, so it's very easy to access it. And we do hope to continue to solicit feedback as we move forward and continue in full discussions with the board about how we will dispose of that site. Okay? And one more very quick item I do want to share with everyone. The results of our thought exchange survey that went out to parents, students, as well as staff members throughout the district. We solicited their opinions on sharing their thoughts on the name for the new K-2 elementary school. I will say that we have an opportunity through this online platform to moderate the comments that come in, and that moderation did take place. Anything that we felt was inappropriate or derogatory or offensive, we did take down. But we did have over 1,000 participants, which is quite stellar, who shared 487 thoughts or who starred the thoughts of others, totaling over almost 36,000 ratings and stars, which is quite extraordinary. So the results are, as you can see, these are the choices that received the most significant votes. Enfield Elementary is the #1 choice, and I'll show you some of the comments that people made. The second most popular choice was Penn Manor Elementary, which some of you may recall is the name of the former elementary school that occupied the site before we leased it to Antonelli. Then Springfield Township Elementary, Cisco Elementary as a result of being across the street from James Cisco Park and in his honor. Hillcrest Elementary, some of you may recall we used to have Hillcrest Junior High School in the district. William Penn Elementary as a result of the influence of William Penn as well as his wife, for whom Penn Manor was named. Crest Hill, I'm not quite sure where that name came from. I'm not familiar with that. A couple people said ELC, which is how we fondly refer to it now during construction. Montgomery Elementary, Skyline Elementary, and Paper Mill Road Elementary. So by far, Enfield was the most popular choice. And this tells who our respondents were. On the very first circle, you'll see it was about evenly divided between the parents, who were in the really dark navy blue, and community members, who are in the lighter blue color, and students. The other colors represent staff members, including individuals who are both staff and parents in our district. So for example, this evening, I don't know if they responded to the survey, but Chris Mazurek, who is one of our staff members at the high school, has children in the district. Jennifer Silvius has children in our district. Her children were here this evening as well. So we have a lot of staff who are both staff members as well as parents. And then finally, interestingly enough, 3/4 of the respondents do not have a child who will be in the new elementary school when it's built, but certainly chose to respond anyway, which we welcomed, and 1/4 of them will have a child who will be in the new school. This is what's called a heat map of responses, and it basically shows you, according to those different respondent groups, whether you're a parent or a student, a community member, a staff member, or a staff member and parent, as it shows on the very far right, it shows where the most responses were in terms of where they entered their thoughts. So again, what you will see is Penn Manor Elementary and Enfield. It shows you who thought those were the best names. So staff members and staff member and parents, believe it or not, seem to prefer the name Penn Manor Elementary, whereas parents and guardians and students, as well as some of our staff members and parents, thought that Enfield was the best name for the site. So that's what the heat map looks like. Darker the color, the more respondents. So these are some of the sample comments. I'm not going to read through the list, but I'll give you a couple of seconds to read through for yourself. And again, these are just representative comments out of the many comments that people wrote in their thoughts. And then next, Tom, Penn Manor. You'll note that number 4 has a little heart after it. Somebody obviously has a very strong attachment to those memories. And then finally, Springfield Township, just some representative comments. And that's it. So I just wanted to share what the community, residents, parents, students, and staff are thinking. Oh, there is one more. I apologize. Thanks, Tom. Cisco or Hillcrest? Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. So, board members, you're going to have a weighty task ahead to make that ultimate decision about the name for our new school. Dr. Taratuski?
Sure. Okay. Move on to new business. Personnel. The Board of School Directors approves the following personnel as presented in the attachment: confidential personnel, certificated personnel, support personnel, temporary personnel, extra pay for extra responsibilities 2018-2019, extra pay for extra responsibilities 2019-2020, conference workshop attendance. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Ms. Jordan. Mr. Lapidus. Ms. Lipinski.
Aye. Number 2, Act 80 days. The Board of School Directors approves the application to PDE for 3 Act 80 days to be used for the high school senior calendar, high school AM and PM VOTEC senior calendars, and out-of-district placed senior calendar. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Ms. Jordan. Mr. Lapidus. Ms. Lipinski. Dr. Taratuski.
Aye. Number 3, KidView, Inc., days off. The Board of School Directors approves the KidView, Inc. days off proposal for 2019-2020 school year as per the attachment HH. Is there a motion? And a second? Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Ms. Jordan. Mr. Lapidus. Ms. Lipinski. Dr. Taratuski.
Aye. Number 4, extended school year agreement with Camp Pegasus. The Board of School Directors approves the agreement between Camp Pegasus and Springfield Township School District for student 201-905-20-01 for the extended school year program. Is there a motion? And a second? Second. Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Mr. Lapidus. Ms. Lipinski. Dr. Taratuski.
Aye. Number 5, part-time independent contractors 2019-2020. The Board of School Directors approves the part-time independent contractor agreements for July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2020 for social skills, human relationships, and vision, orientation, and mobility services. Is there a motion? Motion. And a second? Okay. Any comments or questions?
Just one question. Are these positions new, like net new, or are they filling a void?
No, these are for some of our special needs students who, through their IEP, require certain specialized services that we do not have employees who deliver those services. So they are contracted out just to be able to provide those services for those particular students.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. King?
Aye. Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Aye. Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski. Aye. Dr. Taratuski.
Aye. Number 6, E+ Group, Inc., lease. The Board of School Directors approves the lease proposal between Springfield Township School District and E+ Group, Inc. for 1,000 Chromebooks, including 3 annual payments of $100,186.80, starting July 1, 2019. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Yep.
All right, my question is, what happens to the existing Chromebooks, as this is a replacement of?
Well, Mr. Oliver happens to be here, so we actually rotate them through. The students get them, and then we rotate them, and we give them to staff or whatever, the existing Chromebooks. And then
The existing Chromebooks will be 5 years. The existing Chromebooks will be 5 years old. That was the first large purchase that we made of Chromebooks. Actually, it was 1,200 at the time. And then we did 500 purchase or lease and another section. So this is the group that is the oldest set of Chromebooks in the cycle. Approximately 20% will be unusable by the end of the year, or now we're limping through. So those that are usable we use for spares, put in classrooms. Those that aren't we'll use for parts and keep on the back burner. You're welcome.
Thanks, Rich. Any other comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Aye. Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski. Aye. Dr. Taratusky.
Aye. Number 7, release of proposed 2019-2020 final budget. The Board of School Directors approves the following as recommended by the Finance Committee. The release to the public of the 2019-2020 proposed final budget on Form PDE 2028, the advertisement of the district's intent to adopt the 2019-2020 final budget, and the adoption of the homestead-farmstead exclusion at the June 18th, 2019 meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay. Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Aye. Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski. Aye. Dr. Taratusky.
Aye.
And I just wanted to point out to the board members that if you recall last week, I did send you a very abbreviated version that contains the most salient features of the budget. You'll see that in my budget summary in June.
Number 8, food service management contract for 2018 and 2019-2020. The Board of School Directors approves the renewal of the food service management contract with NutriServe Food Management, Inc. at the flat fee of $32,872 for the 2019-2020 school year, attachment II. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye. Number 9, real estate tax settlement appeal. The Board of School Directors approves the stipulation to settle an assessment appeal for parcel number 52-00-04543-00-4 as recommended by the Finance Committee. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye. Number 10, sports and student accident insurance for 2019-2020. The Board of School Directors approves the purchase of sports and student accident insurance from Axis Insurance Company through All Risks LTD for the 2019-2020 school year at an annual cost of $6,170 for all sports coverage. Attachment JJ. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first.
It was Gretchen.
Okay.
Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye. Number 11, annual designation of depositories. The Board of School Directors approves the following depositories for the 2019-2020 school year. Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund, Wells Fargo, PNC Bank, TD Bank, and Santander. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All right, Mr. King.
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Taratusky.
Aye. Number 12, annual appointment. The Board of School Directors approves the annual appointment of Ms. Katie Braun as treasurer through June 30th, 2020. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. Bedard. Aye. Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Aye. Mr. Lapidus. Aye. Ms. Lipinski. Aye. Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 13, rejection of bids. The Board of School Directors rejects all bids for the following projects. 1, new water softener systems for the middle school and Erdenheim Elementary, and 2, sidewalk curb replacements at Erdenheim Elementary School. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Oh, I was gonna ask, are we looking for additional bids, or have we decided that some of this is no longer needed? Do they need soft water?
Well, they do. Softer water. They just weren't competitive enough for us to accept the bids at this time.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 14, fuel bids. The Board of School Directors approves the following fuel bids made through the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Purchasing Consortium for the 2019-2020 school year. Number 1, $2.1505 per gallon for diesel fuel awarded to Tally. And number 2, $1.8328 per gallon for gasoline awarded to PAPCO. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Would love to know, oh, sorry, I forgot to be recognized. How do these prices compare and to prior year? And was it in line with expectations?
I believe, honestly, they're slightly higher because of all the issues that are occurring internationally. But it's still, as you can see, very favorable to the district with the quantities, and the participation in the consortium allows for a really good, significant discount. So.
I wish I paid $1.83.
You right?
Any other comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman. Aye. Ms. Jordan. Aye. Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 15, general fund transfer. The Board of School Directors approves the transfer of $500,000 from the general fund to the capital reserve fund for the purchase of school buses. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 16, payment of bills. The Board of School Directors authorizes the business administrator to release the payment of bills as they become due and payable over the summer months of 2019. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 17, high school project change orders. The Board of School Directors approves the following change orders for the high school renovation project. Number 1, change order credit number GC-CO001 to Columbus Construction in the amount of negative $145,063.50 for unused repair and replacement costs of the field house metal roof. And number 2, change order increase number SCCO003 to B. Blair Corporation in the amount of $47,600.73 for additions to parking lots, relocation of salt storage bin, and revised grade and under drains on the JV baseball field. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 18, CIEE foreign exchange student. Board of School Directors approves a foreign exchange student from Denmark for the 2019-2020 school year, sponsored by the Council on International Education Exchange. Is there a motion? And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Is this yours, Walter?
No.
Okay.
No Scandinavian.
Okay. Mr.
This
King?
is graduating.
Oh, congratulations.
Finally.
Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman. Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 19, Fulcrum Management Solutions, Inc., Thought Exchange. The Board of School Directors approves the agreement between Fulcrum Management Solutions, Inc. and Springfield Township School District for the Thought Exchange Team Room subscription from May 1, 2019 through April 30th, 2020 in the amount of $10,000. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Yeah, I do have a
Sorry, Mr. Bedard. Yeah.
I thought the data on the naming of the school was just great evidence of the value from this tool. So I think it's a really great tool for us.
We're very pleased as well. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Number 20, confidential settlement and release agreement. The Board of School Directors approves the confidential settlement and release agreement for student 201-905-20-02. Is there a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Mr. King?
Mr. Bedard.
Aye.
Mr. Chapman.
Aye.
Ms. Jordan.
Aye.
Mr. Lapidus.
Aye.
Ms. Lipinski.
Aye.
Dr. Teretuski.
Aye. Are there any public comments on non-agenda items? Seeing none. Future meeting dates, interim board meeting Tuesday, June 4th, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Freeze Memorial Lobby, and a regular school board meeting on Tuesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. in the middle school library. Please note the location change for that meeting. Thank you very much, and have a good evening. We're adjourned.